As we roll through this week of training, I'm going to talk about making plyometrics less boring and the difference between stimulating training and a stimulating training environment. Lots of plyos. I have a very long story about how I built an extension for this portable adjustable basketball hoop that fits in my car. And squats are feeling decent, snappy clean there. Got a new hack for surviving the winter rain. I went into this Monday session without a plan for the dunks. Usually I write out everything I'm going to do, but I've been finding that makes it feel like a little bit of a chore, trying to get everything ticked off. Speaking of chores, I feel like that's what a lot of plyometrics end up feeling like. Not that everything has to be the craziest, newest thing, but if there is an element of novelty, I think it's a lot more engaging for the athlete. Definitely don't need to reinvent the wheel, but even with those standing jumps, right, I'm doing them with the med ball. This triple jump is pretty standard, but I do enjoy it. Haven't done too much of it. Jumping off the extreme depth and then going for the dunk, I find is pretty engaging. Having the cones even on the ground is a big difference. And then this is a very engaging form of jumping right here with the lily pad jumps. I've been looking at some of the more standard plyometrics out there, just kind of like, is this really athletic? Here's the extension for the hoop. Man, it was hard to get this thing built. Here are the designs that I drew out, and I had the cut sheet too. The thing about trying to get things welded at fabrication shops is you're kind of selling them on the idea of doing your job, because they don't want to do small jobs. They're trying to figure out if it's worth their time. So it's a really weird dynamic, and no one really wanted to do it. And then I went to this place and they gave me one quote, and then the welder came in and he was like, no, different quote. So I left that shop, and then I went to this other place and there were like chains hanging from the ceiling. There was no one greeting me at the front door. Like, it's a super grunge. Anyways, I found a guy there, and he didn't really want to do the project, and he was like, okay, give me your phone number. I'll text you something. And I was like, all right, this guy's not going to text me back. Props to him. He texted me back and referred me to a friend of his who was willing to do the job. He just had like a garage shop, and we worked it out. We were able to do it same day for a reasonable price. Anyways, the whole process took so long of just me calling all these stores and going in and pitching my idea. And it got me thinking about the theme of relentless self-agency, which is very useful if you're applying to med school or trying to get a job. And also, believe it or not, trying to organize a dunk session. In a lot of aspects of the dunk process and a lot of doing it myself, I feel like that's something that I have built. Wednesday dunk session, same theme, making it up as I go. Let's get back to talking about what type of plyometrics are engaging. It doesn't necessarily have to be open-ended to be engaging. Even things that are measured are going to be engaging. Like this square jump, for example, I can measure how far apart the shoes are. And I find just having those targets on the ground, again, makes a big difference. This repeating single leg bound is pretty linear, but it's measured. The sand is something that can make training a lot more engaging. It's just a different environment to interact with. Really been enjoying roasted potatoes. I thought I'd throw that in there. Man, my squat's so hingy. 2x8 though with 330. Feeling strong. I have an idea for those single leg bounds as well next week. I want to try doing it with my right hand behind my back. That's a way to switch things up and make it engaging. Let's talk more about the stimulating training versus stimulating environment. So I can do extreme depth dunks and single leg bounds and sprinting, which is all very high intensity training. But I have been thinking, if I'm doing it by myself on the track, that potentially isn't the most stimulating environment. I can definitely make it more stimulating with music and goal setting, self-talk, but it might be something that causes me to plateau. I was listening to a Joel Smith podcast, Just Fly, about this, and it was 12 reasons why athletes plateau, and the training environment was one of them. Definitely doing the plyos by yourself on a track can be problematic. 34.5 meters though, you see that level up? I'm stimulated. Come on now. Anyways, that's another reason why I've been thinking about gamifying and making things more engaging, especially because I'm doing it on my own. 30 build, 10 fly, a little slower than last week. I thought I was running a little bit tilted forward and in the backyard. I want to get into that upright position. Cleaned it up a little bit on that rep and a lot on the last rep. I was just running slow on the last rep. It was actually pretty technically good. This is a new plyo I've been doing. I feel like I haven't talked about it much. It's a repeated distance jump. So you do your approach jump mechanics for distance over and over again, specifically 3 times. It's a good one. It started raining just as I was getting home. It was not supposed to rain, but it was just going to be a little bit. So what I did was tarp the ground, and then while I was doing this workout, the rain went away and I was able to dunk after. That could be the play this winter. Oh, this was a hype complex. Got 200 pounds on the bar, 2 high pulls, a hang power, drop the bar, and do a full hang, then a split jerk, and then I added a hang muscle clean attempt at the end for fun. Switching up the ollie lifts is a easy way to make training engaging. They can be really fun if you let them be. Well, now you have to actually kind of be proactive in making them fun. All right, this is a Meadows row. This is supposed to be on my off day, but I wasn't training on the Saturday because I had a powerlifting meet on the Sunday, which I already posted. I might do a meet recap, but anyways, I did a powerlifting meet like 2 days after this training session that you're seeing. I trained into it because I needed to get this whole block done. All right, that was kind of depressing. I'm like waiting for the ball to roll to myself and dry it off as I'm ripping this dunk session in a very small area, but I got it in because I tarped the ground. I'm going to make it happen, whatever it takes. You know what else I'm going to make happen? Buttered chicken, okay? Buttered chicken is what I'm going to make happen. I'm mixing some potato in there too because I already had the roast potatoes and I needed to eat them. 16 meal preps produced. Look at those numbers. Last word, butter.